I'm a loner, Dottie. A rebel. Welcome, everybody. This is Omar, and you're listening to a brand spanking new episode of Mean Nerdo. Today, we're going to be jumping into the universe of Japanese anime, discussing a bit of a deep cut of a cartoon series titled Ranma 1/2. Now, I'm not a big fan or follower of anime, so this is going to be very educational for me as well. In fact, this time around, I didn't really preview the cartoon that we're going to talk about ahead of time. But that's okay, because I have the best resource teacher anyone could ever ask for. My good friend Reza is on the show today. The episode that we're going to watch is titled Extra Extra Kuno and Abiki. Read all about it. It was released on January 24th, 1991, and it's from Season 4, Episode 78. Here we go. But man, I think that was that the last time I saw you in person was like when you came down to Chula that one time, and we went to Ensenada, or we went to Rosarito, I think, or Ensenada, one of those.
I guess that was the last time.
I think it was. Yeah.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, that's almost.
Yeah, because I came to your house.
You did, yeah, and we had just I think moved here, so that must have been like in 2013. It feels like I lost a year with the pandemic and just everything that happened, and just now I feel like everything's settled again.
It's starting to come together.
Yeah.
Like it's like 2 years went by.
Yeah.
With a blink of an eye. It's like, what did we do the last 2 years? We did nothing.
Nothing. A lot though, but nothing at the same time.
Yeah. I guess it's not a bad thing, but I mean, it's just different.
First of all, how was it growing up for you? You're a military kid, right?
Yeah, my dad was in the Navy for 20 years. So born in Guam, went to kindergarten in Alaska, and then from Alaska, we moved to San Diego. And so from 6 to college, like early college, I lived in San Diego. Yeah. So that's where I grew up.
And where we met.
Yes.
High school, yes.
It's so funny. I have my yearbook here.
Yeah.
And, it's just so weird to just go through that and just like remember. We had a lot of fun times. We spent a lot of time together.
We did. Yeah. I still feel like you're like my little sister, in a way. Like,
no kidding. I know. On the way here, I told Ella, I was like, Ella, I'm doing this interview with Omar, and she has a kid in her class named Omar.
Oh, cool.
So she thought I was doing it with him. And she was like, so like, do you know Omar's mom? And I'm like, yeah, I know Omar's mom. I used to go to their house all the time. And Ella's so confused. She's like, where was I? Like, why didn't you take me? Like, because she's wondering why I'm going over to her classmate's house, hanging out with Omar. And I'm like, no, it's my friend Omar. So.
Yeah, this is her world now, Reza. Yeah.
No, yeah. I remember coming to you would pick us up from school. We'd go to your house, and I would just make these like avocado tacos, and your mom was just like so sweet, so hospitable.
Yeah.
She was like everybody's mom.
Always, yeah. Just mom. Still mom.
Yeah, I love your mom.
I know. Good times, man. Jeez. Things were so like simple, back then.
Man, like those were the people say like these are the best years of your life. You're like, seriously, what?
Yeah.
But when I look back, it's like, man, we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's weird to think about because during that time, it feels like time is just in a standstill. You know what I mean? Like it's always gonna be that way, and you kind of don't appreciate that moment in a way, in a weird way. No. In a weird way, you're kind of like in a hurry to like. All right, what's next? What's next at that age?
I was in such a rush to grow up and like experience life. Yeah.
And now it's like
I didn't take that stuff for granted. Like even like just living in San Diego, it wasn't until I moved away from San Diego that I realized, wow, what a beautiful city.
Right.
All the times when we sat around bored, like what are we gonna do? And we like want to go to the beach? Nah, beach is boring.
Yeah.
Like now I'm thinking, wow, we were so spoiled.
Yeah.
You just take that for granted.
You take it for granted, and yeah, it's even to this day. I mean, like I'm here in San Diego still, and it's just like, oh, to get to the beach, it's like,
yeah.
It's like it's always there, so you still take it for granted. I don't know what it is, but I guess we were never like beach, rats or
Right.
whatever, you know.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, there's too much sand
Yeah.
at the beach.
I think that's why I identified like and I got along with you was because we were both always in homebody like
Yeah.
mode, you know, kind of like like
Like had
nah,
no problem just
I'll
chilling,
just stay in my PJs all day. It's all good, you know.
listen to music,
Yeah,
watch some good movies, and that's perfect.
exactly. Yeah. So man, that's quite a and your mom and your dad they met in Guam. Is that where they met?
No, they met in the Philippines.
Oh, in the Philippines. Okay. I saw that picture you posted just not too long ago with you as a child in
Yeah,
Alaska.
that was in Alaska because I think I was about 5 in that picture.
Whoa.
And I just remember, well, I love music even from a young age.
At what time did you discover how do you say it? Is it Ranma one half or
Yeah,
Ranma
Ranma one half. Yep.
Ranma one half? Yeah. And yeah, just reading the kind of the synopsis of it, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that now because I remember you watching it and you had like tapes or VHS tapes of it.
Let me tell you, I dusted things off. So I have the graphic novels, and I'm very sad that I couldn't find the first graphic novel. So I found 2 and 3.
Oh
I
right.
had I had the VHS box set. This is what a nerd I was back then. I have the soundtrack, okay? The soundtrack to
Oh
Ranma.
yes.
Each season they would have a different like theme for the season. So I have that. And then I found these stickers that I had just laying around at like my mom's house. So I
Dude.
I like kept all this stuff that I had, this memorabilia. It was like really the first anime that I had gotten into, and probably the only real anime that I just.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I mean that's straight up anime for sure. So what came out first? Was it the graphic novels and then the cartoon or kind of all at the
Yeah,
same
it was
time?
the graphic novel. So Rumiko Takahashi, she's the one that developed Ranma One Half, and it's like so she did the graphic novels, and then they turned it into the show, from my understanding.
Oh, wow.
Do you know where the one half comes from Ranma?
Well, does it have to do with him like switching or him or her switching
Yes.
sex, right?
Yeah, it's so that's I thought it was like a really progressive thing. So to have
Yeah.
that like in because I think it ran from like 89 to mid 90s. Like I thought that was really progressive to like have as a cartoon that's geared towards, I don't know, I don't know if the audience was teenagers or young adults,
Yeah.
but how she came up with that concept, I don't know. But the fact that you have this like character that switches between male and female. I mean, Ron was a male, but he fell into this cursed lake. And so the
Uh,
curse, of a drowned young girl. And so whenever he gets splashed with cold water, he turns into a girl.
oh, what a trip. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I wonder too though like culturally, right? Is it does it have a lot to do with how we view it, here in the US, right? As far as that the transgender thing or whatnot. Like maybe for them it was something more spiritual or more I don't know, just different,
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah.
I mean, another culture is like a Native American culture. It's like I forget where you have like this third spirit. Same thing in India, where they have I think they're called the Hindras, and
Yeah.
they embody both. It is interesting.
Yeah, like here it's I feel like in the States it's more of a people's minds always go towards the sexual, right? Like
Yeah,
what does this mean sexually? And but in this case I wonder, right? Like does it have a deeper meaning, So
yeah, absolutely.
how did you even discover it? Like what did you do to find it?
I was hanging out with some friends. I don't know if you remember, I used to hang out with, there was this girl, Christine, and she had a boyfriend, and I can't remember his name. What was his name?
Christine sounds
Danny.
familiar. Danny?
Danny.
Oh, yeah,
Danny and
yeah.
Christine. They were a couple, and I was hanging out with them one day. And the girl and Christine was a fan of Japanese animation. And so they used to go to this video store. This is how old we are. They went to this like comic video store, and they had a bunch of like anime videos. And I remember they had rented like a Ranma and we were watching it. And that was the first anime that really like got my attention because it was so weird.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just liked it. I also like the love story between Ranma and Akane. So that I thought that was cute.
That's awesome. Yeah. Like, anime just never appealed to me, but because you were into it, I kind of opened my world to it,
I mean,
but
there's some that got popular, like mainstream,
yeah.
that everyone knows, like Sailor Moon or Dragon Ball Z, and
Right.
those
Pokemon.
movies like Spirited Away, like those kinds of things that people are familiar with.
Yeah.
But like it's interesting because Rumiko Takahashi ended up developing another series and cartoon that got huge, that really took off. And all of those other, anime like Dragon Ball Z or Pokemon or whatever got popular. And Ranma was different. Ranma just never got popularized in the US.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I realized that it got really popular in like Spain, I think.
Oh,
Ranma,
okay.
I don't, because it was broadcasted, I think, on TV. So like if you were a kid in Spain, I think they were watching Ranma.
Oh, what a
So
trip.
I think it's just interesting. Like
Yeah.
why
Yeah. And what's her story? Like the author, like the creator. Like, do you know anything about her?
No, I mean, years ago, I probably like looked her up and researched her, but now it's like I didn't really
Yeah.
know. She seems to be an interesting woman. I mean,
Yeah.
uh,
And she's still around, right? I think
I think so. I know
we'll
that
have
she
to
just started studying comics and she started making her own graphic novels.
I'll have to Google her, later.
I love that you told me to check it out on what was that app, Tubi?
Oh yeah, Tubi. Yeah.
I was floored because I logged on. I couldn't get onto it with my phone, but on my laptop I could. I could not believe they had Ranma on there.
Yeah.
I was floored. I was like, "Oh my God, they have all these episodes of Ranma."
Yeah, I
Now
know.
they're in their original Japanese and it's subtitled. Most of what I watched in Ranma was dubbed in English, so I'm
Oh,
used
okay.
to those voices. But I mean, I can
Yeah.
read. I
Yeah.
mean, there was no
Oh,
issue.
I didn't even realize that it had been dubbed in English and all that.
Yeah, like the video box set that I had, it was all dubbed in English, but it's just no problem. I got used to hearing their voices. And an
Yeah.
interesting thing about the person who did Ranma's voice, it's a female, and they kind of switched like halfway through like the seasons. They switched
The voice
the
actor.
voice, yes, the voice actor.
Yeah.
So it takes some getting used to, but I thought that was interesting.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't realize that. Yeah, I found it on Tubi. Tubi's awesome. I find like all these
I
cartoons
know.
and they have like all these like kind of just rare shows and stuff. So
Obscure. Like this
yeah.
is pretty obscure. Like
Yeah.
to find Ranma on Tubi is like I'm glad we're not doing like an actual like critique like of Ranma because
Yeah.
there are some problematic themes and as an adult as I'm watching this I'm like I was watching it as a teenager
Yeah.
for amusement. Now that I'm an adult I'm like I start
Yeah.
to critique it like in the scene when Ranma in female form comes to meet this family, the Tendos,
Mm.
because Ranma's supposed to marry Akane or one of the daughters,
Yeah.
and the dad goes up to the female form of Ranma and feels her up, and she's
Oh.
very well
Yeah.
endowed,
Yeah.
and so you've got like an adult male feeling
Right.
up a teenage girl. I
Right.
mean, I'm like, wow. And there's like nudity, so it like
Oh.
topless. So this could be problematic.
Yeah. No, yeah, we can critique it for sure. And why don't we do that? Why don't we jump into like watching the episode
I
that I
want
have?
people to look and think that Rama's cool. I don't want them to be like, oh, this is a terrible anime. No, it's definitely special to me. So I can look back and I just it's nice to revisit this. And interestingly, this episode doesn't focus on Ranma at all. It focuses on a different character.
Oh, okay.
So this episode focuses on a guy named Kuno.
And Kuno that small little guy? The
No.
no? Okay.
Kuno is like, if you could imagine maybe like a jock type character, at the school. He's 17 years old and like all the girls kind of like him. So he's
Oh,
like a
okay.
popular.
Which is this guy right here, standing?
Yes, that's Kuno.
Oh, so does Ranma even come out in this episode or?
He's there doing, as a sidekick. This isn't like his episode, but that's okay.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, let's watch a little bit of this one and see what.
私だって本当は先輩のことが
おお、やはりお下げの女であったか。分かってい
So I don't think female Ranma has like a name. They just call her pigtailed girl.
Oh, is that Ranma right there? The pigtail girl?
Yeah, the one in the red hair.
That's Ranma as
the female form. Yeah. It's confusing.
Yeah. Well, especially for me because I haven't like ever really watched a full episode, so I'm not familiar with the characters at all.
I guess what's cool about Ranma is you don't really need to watch them in order. As long as you have an idea of like what it's about, you can just watch any episode and
yeah, you can jump right into wherever.
Yeah. This is like a comforting type of thing. Like if you're having a bad day, you can probably put on an episode and it's mindless.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's just fun. Now, have you ever watched this episode before? Do you remember this one at all or
I do like so long time ago vaguely because I remember this love triangle situation.
Was that always like a thing like throughout or was it just this episode?
Throughout Ranma, there's always a bunch of love triangles going on. People who are interested in the other, like it's all about unrequited love, if you ask me, especially between the male Ranma and Akane.
Oh, okay.
They're always like, yeah, you can tell like they have they sort of have crushes on each other, but they don't want each other to know, and so they're just friends, always in competition with each other.
Oh, what a trip! So this guy and Ranma, is that this guy
So
that
that guy, I think he and Ranma are friends, but that guy is sort of like this jock type character at school. He's 17. He's popular. All the girls like him.
And who's the little guy?
I think that might be his master, his like spiritual guide. Like I forget.
Okay. Like his the guy who like watches over him.
Yeah, the guy the guy who trains him.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I'm trying to think of the word and I can't think of it.
His mentor or sensei or yeah.
There you go. Yes, his sensei.
His sensei, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting because you started watching this like pretty much as a teenager, not as a child.
Oh yeah, I was a teenager, not as a child. No.
Yeah.
I think I had outgrown like cartoons and I was not interested in watching cartoons, but
Sure.
And so when they were like, "Oh, let's watch some anime," I kind of like rolled my eyes, and then they put this on and I was like, "Damn, this is pretty good. I like this." So and then I got hooked on it. I'm like, I usually don't like this.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it was like ahead of a lot of ahead of its time because now that's kind of like what you see is like I'm watching a cartoon and I'm like, oh wait, is this appropriate for Moy to watch? I like a lot of cartoons now are more geared towards, I guess, us, right? Adults.
Well, yeah, I think like the only like cartoon that was out like maybe in the 90s was like The Simpsons that people watched that was like geared towards adults.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if like cartoons for adults was big back then.
Or we just didn't know because we were kids, right?
Yeah, we didn't pay attention to that. I just remember The Simpsons.
Yeah, The Simpsons were it. Yeah, I think it's probably a thing that always existed, and because we're kids, right? It doesn't appeal to us or something.
Well, yeah, now it's like a huge thing. Like you go on Netflix and there's so many like animated shows that are geared towards adults.
Yeah, I see. Like this is like okay. Yeah, definitely Ranma. Yeah, it is. It's got a lot of sexuality to it.
Yeah. Yeah, like in the first episode, I mean, you see like frontal nudity with the females.
Yeah.
And you'll see this sporadically throughout the show.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's kind of like a thing too with anime, right? It's just a little more like risque, right? And
oh yeah.
So
I think even within anime, there's like different genres of anime.
Yeah. What character did you like identify with, like in Ranma?
I really liked Akane because she was sort of like this kick-ass character that didn't take shit from anybody, and she was strong, and she didn't conform to like gender norms. Like if you watch the show, like they're very big on like gender norms, like oh that's something that girls do or that's something that boys do. And so when I'm rewatching this, they really hit that message home. But Akane didn't do that. She didn't conform.
Is she here in this episode that we're watching right now?
Yeah, so there is a love triangle. So Kuno, there's a love triangle between
Okay, there's
the
Ranma, and
female
that's
form. So that's Akane. So the female form of Ranma,
uh-huh.
pigtailed girl is what he calls her, and Akane. So he's like trying to like pick, who do I love? So he goes to this fortune teller, and the fortune teller's trying to help him sort that out.
Gotcha.
So that's what's happening in this episode.
Okay. He's like, dude, help me decide type thing.
Let me figure out who's the one for me. Another character that I like that's sort of like the opposite of Akane, that was just like a fun character. Her name is Shampoo. And Shampoo is not in this episode, but she has like blue hair, and she's just like, I don't know, she's just really fun to watch. She's a really fun character.
That's
that
awesome.
Stands out.
Shampoo.
Shampoo is her name, yes. So this is after he goes to the fortune teller, and the fortune teller tells him, follow the first dog that you see. So because he's looking for a sign that'll tell him which girl is he supposed to pick, right? So that's what he's doing. He's telling him to do these things. Okay, follow something round and red. So then he sees a balloon. He follows the balloon. So at the end of this, the girl, the female that he is supposed to pick, will be revealed to him. So that is the scene that we are going to see right now.
Right on. Man, so you do remember this episode.
That's because I watched it last night. Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah, gotcha.
I watched it last night.
That's right.
And I took notes because,
Oh, man, look at you. Yeah.
Well, because
that's how you roll. Yeah.
I need to take notes. Otherwise, if I don't write it down, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's revealed that it is not Pigtailed Girl or Akane. It is Nabiki, which is the sister of Akane. I know that means nothing to you, but that's what's funny about this. It's funny because it's none of those two. It's Nabiki, who is actually, I like her too, because she's a sarcastic type of person.
You're watching this in your teenage years. How does it change you at all in some way as you're going through adolescence?
I think if anything, it just like, because I think at that time I had written off cartoons or watching animation. It definitely opened up my love for graphic novels, just anime in general. But this one's the big takeaway for me was Ranma, just that they could be so fun and not childlike.
Yeah.
I don't know, I guess, because when I think of cartoons, they're very childlike. And as a teenager, it was nice to watch something that was more geared towards like teenagers or young adults.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. Like just from eyeballing it here, it is definitely has like a mature kind of stance, right? It's looking at these themes. At the same time, it's silly. Like there's comedy, slapstick type thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's just like a comedy. It's a dramedy.
It's a dramedy, yeah. Yeah, excellent.
So yeah, I think if anything, it like kind of spurred my interest in like graphic novels.
Cool.
I think I was 15.
Yeah.
When I got introduced to this.
I think I met you.
This was like 95.
Yeah, I met you in your
95.
In 95. Wow. So in my junior year, I think, around there.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a trip. And you guys were you and Michelle were a year younger, I think, or 2 years.
You're class of 97, right?
96. Yeah.
Oh, we're class of 98.
You're 98, yeah.
Yeah. So you were a senior.
I was a senior, yeah. Wow.
I know, isn't that weird?
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember I didn't really hang out with, me and Michelle didn't date till I had already graduated, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. 98, I think, is when we started to date. And that's when we really, because you guys were seniors.
97 going into 98, because that's when we graduated, because I remember you picking us up from school.
Yeah.
And we would go to your house.
Yeah.
And that's where I would get those those avocado little tacos that I would make.
That was a routine right there. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I had gone straight to Southwestern College and started school. and yeah, I didn't have any breaks in between. And you guys were the seniors now, and so I was kind of living another senior year in a way.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Really.
So like around right before high school, I think I was into comics, into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like graphic novels.
yeah.
Yeah, and then
Love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
yeah, and then yeah, ninth grade I think is when I dropped all that stuff because I thought, oh, like I'm just a big nerd if people know that I'm into this stuff. I don't know. I had that like.
You're not a nerd.
Well, yeah, some people.
Depends on your definition
Yeah,
of a nerd.
yeah.
It's okay. Nerds are cool.
But nerds are awesome, right? I've learned to like come into it. I've learned to accept it. But do you? Oh yeah, I just remembered. Do you remember one time we were going to? I don't know. Either you know how Michelle would go visit her mom in L.A.
Yeah.
and me and you went to go visit her. I think was the
Yeah.
whole thing with the trip. Me and you got in the Mustang. We drove up. I think we hung out with her, and then on the way back, I said, "Reza, I'm looking for Transformers the movie."
Yes.
And we
I
went on a
remember.
mission. We went like on this
Yes.
little side mission. And it's crazy. Like, yeah, at that time, it was like you couldn't find it anywhere. And I said, hey, I think I might find it. I think I found the place. And we went to this
I
like
remember that.
I don't know where it was. I think it was off of like what area? I can't even remember. Off the 405 somewhere. And we went to this little like comic shop. And
I remember it was like this tiny little place.
yeah, like total
So
random,
random.
a random like little thing, but we found it there, I think, and so yeah, success.
I guess you just needed me to go with you.
Yeah, you had to touch.
It's like when something's going wrong with your computer and you try and you know you've tried everything and then you call someone, you're like, "Can you help me?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, you just need to do this." You're like, "I just did that," and it works when they do it.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, you were my lucky charm. So that's awesome. I think this is where we left off, right here.
Yes.
橋のそばで待て。そこで最初に向こう岸からやってくる女性こそお主の生涯の伴侶となるであろう。
Oh, this is when she's revealed to him. Gotcha.
Yes. And he's like, getting ready. Because he's happy with either or, you know what I mean? He's like, which one?
悲しいけど私たちもうお別れです。
So I mean, this is like a male fantasy of
Yeah.
having two women, like,
僕はお前たちを捨てることはできない。
Absolutely.
戻ってきておくれ。うわー
Now he wants 3 of them.
天道
Yeah.
に人を捨てら
yeah.
れる
Now he's like, well, why have to pick? Why can't I just have all 3? Maybe he'll have to move to Utah for that. This is an episode where like the side characters are getting their moments.
Right. Now what's Ranma's usual like dilemma like in the cartoon? Like what is she kind of faced with?
It's different. So that's the great thing about it is sometimes it's like each episode kind of like has its own like new adventure.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's like he wants to find a way to reverse the curse.
Oh, I
I
see.
mean, ultimately, that's
Yeah.
the plan.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, and it is interesting too, like how it's viewed as like a curse, right? It's like, okay, it's something that, he doesn't want or she doesn't want. No, he starts out as a male, right? And then he's cursed with having to be a girl. Like,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's because it started off because he was training and he and his dad took this trip to China and he was training at this cursed like lake or pond, and it was a special training area that hadn't been used for several years because of the curse. And when he falls in, like his dad is the panda. So his dad fell into the water and his dad turns into the panda. He turns into the female. So that's something that they did on their way to the Tendos because Ranma was supposed to be married off to one of the 3 daughters. of his father's best friend. So when they arrive and it's a panda and a female, they're all confused, like, what's this panda and this female doing here? And so they have to explain what happened. And so that all happens in the first episode where you find out like what happened.
So I didn't realize the dad.
The dad is the panda. So when Rama shows up, he's pretty much promised one of the three. It's pretty obvious that Akane is the chosen one, and she doesn't like that because she doesn't want to be forced to marry somebody.
Yeah.
And then there's this weird thing where he turns into a girl. Having to explain all this, it's like a whole we need to develop a flow chart here.
Absolutely. And it seems,
but it's not hard to follow. Like once you start watching it, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, for sure.
Follow.
It's so funny too, like Japanese, at least in this cartoon, right? Some of the settings and locations, they remind me of also like places like in Mexico City for some reason. I don't know why. Like, it's weird.
See, I thought you were going to say Chula Vista.
No. No. Well, I guess, yeah. I mean, it could be too. Yeah. But just that shot of that building and the classrooms, like the settings and all that. But I've been meaning to ask you, you work, I know kind of like what you do, but can you talk to me a little bit about what that's all about?
For my job, yeah, so I'm a clinical social worker and I work with veterans. I work at the VA. Most of the veterans I work with have a substance use disorder and a mental health disorder. The clinics that I work in, it's medication-assisted treatment. So you have to have a diagnosis of opioid use disorder. So they're receiving either methadone or Suboxone, Vivitrol, Sublocade. And then, that goes along with that is, mental health. So those are mainly the folks that I work with. That's my day job.
Wow, that's amazing. So are you like there to kind of counsel them? Is that kind of like your role? Right on.
Yeah, just counseling, therapy, case management, just kind of help get them all back on track, whether that's through finding them housing or providing therapy of some kind. Yeah, whatever they need that can help them.
Wow, that takes a big heart, Reza.
It's an interesting job.
Yeah. Wow.
I always talk to a lot of the veterans I went. They're like, "How did you get into this?" And I'm like, "Well, it all started because I'm a nosy person, and I just like, I am a nosy person, and I like to ask a lot of questions and like interview people and find out like how people tick." And so
get to the bottom of it. Yeah,
and I get paid to do that. So
that's wonderful. Works. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, now that I think about it, that is kind of like an ideal thing for you, like how, because I used to love like how inquisitive you are, right? And how, like you said, you're nosy, right?
Absolutely. And you have to ask a lot of questions because believe it or not, when people don't like to talk about themselves, especially if there's a lot of shame or a stigma about whatever it is they're dealing with. Yeah,
in a way, this like little project that I'm doing here is kind of like a way for me to open up a little more too, because I've always been, as you know, just more in my head, in a cozy place, right, with my thoughts, and so learning to communicate, right, communicate your feelings, communicate what's going on inside. This has been like a small part in helping me open up and better communicate, where I'm at, doing something kind of lighthearted too at the same time and
absolutely
fun.
And this is an awesome way to do that because believe it or not, communicating your feelings is a skill that a lot of adults were never taught. And so when I am meeting a lot of adults, at work, they have to be taught how to communicate effectively because, a lot of us weren't taught how to do that. A lot of us don't even know how to identify our emotions.
Right.
There's a variety of emotions that humans experience. And most people say, okay, I'm happy, sad, angry. There's, it's on a spectrum. There's different words to describe
exactly
what you're feeling.
Yeah. So like I said, this has been self-therapeutic for me to do this project because, I got the film thing. Mm-hmm. That's what I do. But I started doing documentaries, and that's kind of like mainly what I do at work is I do just interview type stuff, which I think opened up a lot of this sort of need, or I found out that I actually do thrive and enjoy getting input, right? Like I'm just always like looking for things to learn, to just become more knowledgeable about. But yeah, I think a lot of that was just childhood, right? Like I think I have my mom, right, that was just sort of this over communicator, I think. Like she just would talk for me in a way, like and that just kind of created me as more of a mute or just more introverted, or maybe it's just my personality, right?
I was going to ask you about that. Like, are you an introvert? Because it's weird because
Yeah.
you seem more extroverted, right? When you're around people, it's like
Yeah.
you have this persona when I feel like you get energy from being around people because
Yeah.
it's like all of a sudden you bloom into this personality. But when people aren't around, you're
Yeah.
very much in your own head.
Very much. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I think the environment definitely will influence maybe how I enter the room or something, or
You could be an ambivert. That's a person who's both.
yeah, I think I'm both. I think I can be both because I'm very much, I do really enjoy being observant and kind of like just watching people, like what they do, and
I have
kind
a
of,
dumb question.
yeah,
Are you a Scorpio or a Sagittarius?
I'm Sagittarius. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. And I'm not even huge into like
Astrology. Yeah.
astrology, but my moon sign is Sagittarius and I tend to be drawn people. So for take
Yeah.
this for what it is, but I tend to be drawn people that are somewhere in my astrological chart. And I knew that you had to be either, Sagittarius, because that's my moon sign. And so
Okay.
everything that you're saying fits that like a full to a T, like being a Sagittarius. But
Yeah.
anyway, but I thought Scorpio because I think Scorpios are in December, like late September. I don't know.
Yeah,
Or
no, I
December,
think
late December.
Scorpios are October, I think.
No, that's Libra.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah. Only
Yeah.
because Alex is a Libra. He's like October 17th.
Oh, okay. Okay. So yeah, I think after Libra it's Scorpio.
Sagittarius. No, I don't know. You know what?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I am
Yeah.
not an expert at this stuff, but
Yeah.
I just knew I was like, he's got to be like a
Yeah,
Sagittarius.
Sagittarius, yeah. So you're saying a Sagittarius is your moon,
My moon sign.
what does that mean? Like, is it like that
It's like
you get along with
it's
them,
like
or?
how I am to myself, like my personality, sort of like my inner world is
Okay.
Sagittarius.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's
So very
interesting.
like what you're describing, very introspective and very much in my head.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. And a lot of people may not see that side of like your moon sign. Maybe a lot of people may not see that side of you because it's usually how you are when you're alone,
Yeah.
or it's like your inner like environment,
Yeah.
landscape, what's going on. It doesn't surprise me that someone close to me would pick up on that. Or I'm just telling you,
Yeah, yeah.
it's no surprise that you're Sagittarius in my moon sign. Now
Yeah.
I'm going to seem like a really big like into astrology when I'm really ignorant. Okay, I'm so ignorant.
Yeah, same here. I know very little about it, For some reason I thought, oh, there's some signs that are compatible with other signs and that, but then you throw the moon signs at me and I'm like, oh yeah, I
You're
don't
like,
know.
what the hell is that?
That's a whole other layer, but
I think so, yeah. Most people identify with their sun sign because that's like what we're all striving to be. We're striving to be like those traits that are sun sign.
yeah.
That I guess that those characteristics, that is like the purpose is for us to strive towards that. But we can spend our whole lives striving to be those things.
Wow. That's amazing.
I only know this because for my birthday this year, I had my whole chart read.
Oh,
So
cool.
yes,
Cool.
I got that because, as a birthday present, I always try to give myself birthday presents that are like
Yeah,
different, unique, like an experience. So
definitely.
I did that, and
Oh, wow.
she gave me this chart, and I have no idea how to read it
Like
because it
what
all
you're,
has to do with like where the planets were aligned. You have to know your exact like to find your moon sign. You have to know the exact place of your birth, the time of your birth.
and
But based on that.
according to that,
Mhm.
that's all like laid out
Like
for
where
you.
the planets were aligned, they can
Whoa.
tell you things. That is what an astrologer would use, I guess, to interpret your chart. Is they would because they have this system. Either
Yeah.
they write it out mathematically or whatever, or they can put it into a computer system and it'll show them where the planets were aligned at the time of your birth.
Yeah.
This interview is taking a different kind of direction.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Like,
but you had to know that was going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we haven't talked in like years, so it's like, where do we start, right?
Yeah.
I think we covered it, Reza. What do you think?
Yeah, Ranma 1/2. It's a great show to get into. If you don't, you can just start watching it whenever. Of course, I mean, I recommend at least watching the first episode to kind of get some background. But once you watch the first episode, you can jump in and out of the show, and it's just fun, lighthearted. There's definitely some problematic things going on that you will notice, just like with gender norms and things like that. And if you can look past that and just see it for when it was written and when it came out, I thought it was progressive the time.
Yeah.
Because you have this male character that goes back and forth between male, female, which I thought was cool.
Rad. Well, I love talking to you, Reza. I love seeing you.
Same. I love it. You're the only person I could just look at and we can just bust out laughing and crack up over nothing. I remember doing that so many times with you, just like looking at you and just start laughing.
I really miss you. I mean, I miss you guys,
I miss you
and it's
too.
like, yeah, it's kind of a bummer that you guys are so far away, but
I know.
But I mean, life is life, right? And but yeah, I'll take you up on that. Hopefully.
Yes, you guys are welcome anytime. I mean, it's a great, like when you come here, there's so much to do, so much to show you.
It looks awesome out there.
Yeah. It really is.
It really does. Well, thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
I appreciate your time, especially on a Sunday, away from your little girl. She's back there somewhere. Yeah.
Adulting, it's hard to find the time, but I'm like, you know what, you make time for what's important. So
exactly.
It was important for me to have this chat with you. So I made it happen.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. Same for me. Say bye to Reza.
Bye-bye, Reza.
Bye. Bye, Moy. Hopefully I'll see you soon in person.
Yeah. Did you hear her?
Yeah?
Yeah. All right. Well, I love you, Reza.
Have a good night. Yes, it's like 7:30 here. So enjoy the rest of your day.
Yes. Have a good night. We'll talk soon. All right?
All right. Sounds good.
All right.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.